Well, welcome to another episode of Wild Harvest. You can learn an awful lot about foraging from the wild, well, from watching this show, and also from researching through books or going online, but you cannot learn it all. Now, if you truly want to harvest sustainably, so you're doing it in the right way, and also safely, so you don't eat the wrong thing, you do that with a local expert. Someone who can take you out and show you how to touch, how to smell, how to taste, what to look for when it comes to foraging from the wild. And get out there and enjoy your wild harvest. You know, whether it's a seed that a bird ingests and then drops down in some distant location, or some little creature that attaches itself to the hull of a boat, or if there's people who simply want to beautify their garden by planting some exotic flower, one way or the other, invasive species will always be an important part of your wild harvesting.
Sparkling on the bay, warm is my heart that loves you all the more. All I can do now is never let you go.
This is Rubus arminiacus, and this is one of those situations where you have an invasive species that you can trace it right back to the time, the place, the date. It's the late 1800s, a guy named Luther Burbank, even to the person. He was known as the Wizard of Horticulture, and he picked up essentially a package of seeds from India with this blackberry in it and spread them into Willamette Valley, Oregon, to make a fruit crop out of it, and they took over. They became ubiquitous, they became invasive on the West Coast especially. They choke out a lot of the other beautiful, delicious endemic species like salmonberry. In this situation, I say, okay, this is right down at the end of our driveway, so let's take advantage of it. So that's Rubus arminiacus. And here we go again.
Yeah.
Back to enjoy the literal fruits of our labor. So I've got for you frozen blackberries and then processed them into jam. Now, I haven't tasted this jam since it was hot and I was pulling it out of the pot. But I think we should try the berries first because they're going to have a lesser flavor profile.
Okay, I'm in. I'm going with my fingers.
Yeah, go for it. They're starting to thaw, but they're still frozen.
That's so fun.
Oh.
It's like they're the perfect temperature.
Shall we try the jam?
Let's do it. And you haven't tried that yet, you said?
Not like this, no.
Okay.
You can go first.
All right, I'm excited. You're right, it's firm. That's so good. That's so intense.
Wow.
And that texture, it melts, it dissolves.
So, wow. Tell me what you're thinking. You were talking pizza because of the blackberries. But
I think I still will. I'll do pizza.
Okay.
It might be a little on the sweeter side, but sweet and savory combine all the time. I mean, barbecue sauce is that combination of sweet and savory.
I do not have it in my head what you can do with the pizza. All I can think of is that's going to be like cheesecake, especially when you mention the ricotta. But I know you're going to surprise me. I want to see what you do with the jam. Shall we get at it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
I'm hungry. So, pizza dough. I mean, I don't have a lot of daylight to work with, so I need something that will rise quickly. And I think I've got something that's gonna work. Okay, that water's really hot. A little bit too hot for yeast. It's surprising how warm you can have the water to activate yeast, but you don't want it too hot, otherwise it will kill it. Something a little bit more than blood temperature is what I highly recommend. So we get some of this. And this is where a scale comes in handy. Okay, it's not a lot. When it comes to making dough, it's always best to weigh your ingredients rather than using measuring cups. It's way more accurate. Okay, there we go. Time for the water. I'm doing this all by weight. Okay, that's good there. The yeast needs to be activated. It feeds off of sugar. There's always salt in recipes. It kills the yeast. It keeps it at bay, so there's a certain balance of salt and sugar. I'm gonna add just a little pinch of sugar to this recipe, but I'm adding it to the yeast while it's feeding. This stage right here. There we go. Whoops, exploding sugar ball. Let's stir that up. Put that in the window, and I'm gonna start working on the flour component. So I'm mixing flour and salt together. That way, when I add the yeast and the water mixture to them, it will keep the yeast at bay, not giving me too much of a rise, but a controlled rise. And here it goes. I'm adding water, a spoonful at a time. And I want just enough that a ball will form and the flour in the mixing bowl will stick. So now it's kneading. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I've got some nice stretch to it. I'm gonna work this with my hands. Sometimes just touching the dough helps me understand what's happening with it. So when I'm working with dough, and in this case, pizza dough, I'm feeling it with my hand. What I want to acknowledge through touch is the dough is evenly mixed, that there's no lumps of flour. All I have to do now is put it in a bowl and let it rise. So it doesn't stick to the glass. I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to it. Now it's time to be patient. That's it.
Okay, it's time to be a little bit of a plant nerd for you and look at some identification of this blackberry. This rubus is blackberry. Lacinatus is for the invasive species, the species that was brought in, or an introduced species. So let's take a look at these. These are whitish to pinkish, 5 petals. And what's really important to note are the stamens. The stamens are in clusters of 5 to 20. These are what you would call alternate leaves. You get this, oh, there's my friend. There we go. Just getting some pollen right now. That's pretty cool. Beautiful little bumblebee. Getting lots of pollen. Intentional pun. They're very busy. You can see on this stem, they shoot out. Alternate means shooting out one, then the other, then the other, then the other, as opposed to opposite. So you've got opposite, whorled around the stem, or alternate. These are alternate leaves. And of course, there's the spiky stems. Now, as for the berries, sometimes raspberries are black, and sometimes blackberries are red. So how do you know if it's a raspberry or a blackberry? Well, if you take a look on the inside, if it's solid, it's a blackberry. If it's a hole and it's a cavity, it's a raspberry. It might depend on the mineral content of the soil that they're growing in, the amount of sun, the amount of shade. All kinds of conditions might slightly alter the colors of the berries. So that's the way to determine if the berries you're picking are either of the raspberry family or rubus blackberry. Either way, here's my little bee friends here. They're delicious.
To put it simply, I'm stoked to be working with blackberries as I love their deep and rich flavor, but I also have a huge craving for some oysters. I've never combined the two flavors before, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Time now to make the sauce for the oysters. They need a savory component to it. I love using shallots. I find that they have just the right amount of oomph to still be raw, have that onion texture, and yet not be overpowering. Shallots, or shallots, depends. Pizza is pizza, potato is potato, tomato, tomato. So I'm just gonna use my little vegetable knife to do the initial cut on them.
Oh, hang on, Paul.
Yeah.
Hang on. Okay, this has been driving me nuts ever since I've been doing Wild Harvest with you. I watch you cut the shallots. I've tried it on my own, and I keep blowing it. So teach me, because it looks like magic when you do it.
So I'll do it with this one. This is nice and easy to work with because it's flat. So all I have to do is take our little knife, cut it through, straight down until I can feel the cutting board.
Right, and this one's a smaller one, so you are holding it off to the side, but still, okay.
Correct.
I got it.
Fingers behind it as well.
Right.
You never want your fingers to be out like that. They're always held back.
Okay.
And then here's the action. It's the rolling of the knife.
Yeah.
And I just kind of move my fingers back as we go.
That's so cool. I'm sorry for nerding out, but
They're there.
this has been bothering me for a long time. I keep watching you do shallots. How does he do these shallots so well? Now I know. Okay.
Right on.
Game changer.
All right, so that's tons. I don't need more shallots than that. So now, to finish this sauce, I just need a few of these blackberries, a little vinegar, the shallots, a bit of the jam. Mix this in. Oh, okay. That'll be perfect with an oyster.
Every once in a while, a wild edible gives me the option of creating some kind of delicious tea, cold drink, or in this case, a cocktail. I'm gonna make a blackberry play on a classic, an old-fashioned.
Hey, Paul, can you try some?
Yeah.
It's just mush.
Want to try? Okay, I'm coming in.
Oh, man.
Yeah?
Just-
And that's just mushy blackberry. That's all it is.
Holy cow.
All right, that is my blackberry simple syrup. And you know what comes after that? Blackberry old-fashioned.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
Why 3 drinks? Well, I can't leave the camera guy out. That just wouldn't be fair.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Ha-ha! Shall we go enjoy some oysters?
I think we should. Oh, look at these oysters. Those are nice. A good oyster knife is imperative. It makes safe and light work of opening an oyster. Plus, you want the oyster to look nice when you're done. Look at that one. Holy cow, that is one beautiful oyster. Some blackberry sauce.
So when you said it was oysters and blackberries, I did what I often do with you when you tell me you're going to make something that leaves me thinking I have no idea what he's going to do with that. I stop thinking about it. I mean, you know, oh, maybe he's going to use lemon. Maybe he's going to do this. I don't do that. I wait and I think, okay, let's just see what he did. So, what'd you do?
All right, well, taste is everything. That oyster is yours, yeah.
Have it first and guess, or
Yeah, just have it and tell me what you think.
What was in that?
Well, 3 ingredients: vinegar, blackberries, shallots. That's it.
That's it.
Yep, with the blackberry jam and the frozen blackberries. Some of them had a little bit of a tang to them, and some were really sweet. I didn't know, so I just mixed them all together, balanced it out, and thought that the overall flavor profile would actually work really well with an oyster. Not too strong, still there.
Yeah.
I think with the oyster that I just had, I still tasted the oyster, but the blackberries I tasted too, and they worked.
Yes, they do. And actually, let's try this. Let's see what Antonio thinks.
Yay, thank you.
There you go. Try this. Huh?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. While Antonio savors that, our blackberry old-fashioned.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that smells great. Holy cow. That's delicious.
That's a really nice blend. I was a little worried the bourbon was going to overpower it, but the blackberries, they're holding their own. It's subtle. It's not blackberry. I'm not drinking blackberry juice, but it's there. And that's delicious. That's not just a straight glass of bourbon now. It's our cocktail. It's our old-fashioned.
It's delicious. So I've got this idea for the pizza. Blackberries are really flavor forward. I mean, there's just so much to them. And they're sweet, but I want a savory sort of experience as well. And ricotta cheese seems to be the right fit for what I'm thinking flavor profile wise. So first, I'm gonna strain off some of the moisture. I'm just gonna dump the ricotta into this strainer. I'm gonna press some of that excess moisture out of there. That looks pretty good to me. Nice and dry. So now I can add some savory flavors to this. Some salt, some pepper. There we go.
Okay. Come on up, Antonio. I got overzealous. See, if I was on my own, this would have been fine. But Paul's here. So I'm trying to make the perfect fire, and I just overstacked it. So much so that you can see it. The stovepipe was glowing red, and flames are coming out of the top. So, fortunately, it's not my first rodeo when it comes to working with fire. The upside of this is that the oven's going to be absolutely perfect when it comes to cooking a pizza in there. The temperature's going to be it's going to probably be 1,200 degrees. I'd show you the thermometer here, but I got it so hot that I melted the thermometer.
Now, I'm not a rehearsed pizza veteran. I understand the principle of it, and I understand the shape of it, but this isn't going to be perfection. I'm hoping it's delicious. The jam. Blackberries. Blue cheese.
Hey, Paul, I'm pretty much ready.
Okay.
It's all yours.
Oh, lost the shape a little bit. That's okay. There it goes. Here, can you hold that for a second?
Let me help you out with a little bit of cell phone action.
Thank you.
How's that?
That helps
If
immensely.
you can't see it, it's really hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
But see, this is what happens. The last time I made a pizza in here, same thing. It got dark before I was ready.
Look at that.
It's beautiful, though. Still. Oh, look at that.
Just because it is so hot. There we go. Okay, what do you say?
It's up to you, man. It's your call.
I think we're there. Maybe another minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think we're there.
I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna hold it there for a second. It's
What were
really
you saying,
hot.
Les, when you thought it was done, you count?
15 seconds
Yeah,
longer.
that's right. When I think it's done, and I see it, and it's like, oh yeah, it's done, I count 15 seconds.
Okay, there we go. That is a pizza.
All right, we'll go let it rest. Nice.
Okay.
Haha.
I'm merging a pizza. This is fun. There we go. I think some fresh basil is gonna work well here too. Some arugula. There's something so special about cutting into a freshly baked, crispy pizza. Not only can you hear it crunch, you can feel it. All right,
All right.
for you.
Thank you. Pizza time. You can talk. I'm gonna eat.
Okay, well, the dough is just one of those things. I just felt it as I went.
Just winged it.
Yep, I winged it.
Okay.
But this is still a story about the blackberry. And I wanted to do this in a savory way, not a dessert way. I could have made pancake syrup. I didn't want to do that. Well,
Has there ever been invented a more perfect food than pizza? I don't think so. Wow.
I don't know about
You know what I'm happy about this, Paul? It's not sweet. I gotta admit, I was worried you were serving me up dessert. I mean, after all, it's blackberries. Now, I did know that the jam I made for you, which is on this, right?
It is.
Okay. That it, in the end, it wasn't sweet. I was worried that this was going to taste like blackberry cheesecake.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. It still tastes like pizza.
Yeah, I'm really happy about that. And I'm getting, you know, the bite. So the thing about the frozen berries on the pizza, they taste like they were just picked. I'm blown away. I did not expect that. Usually, like I think of a frozen raspberry, it falls apart, disintegrates. These didn't. They came out of your freezer, and they went onto a pizza, and they're perfect. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my hands now.
What do you think?
I'm happy.
Good. Good. Did you enjoy working with these blackberries?
I loved them. Everything that we gather has one thing in common. They all have flavor.
Right.
And that's special. I love flavor. That's why I cook. I love flavor.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't get that flavor through domestic ingredients.
Really, that's the thing. You know, we take a species, these blackberries, most people consider, or many people consider, aggressive and invasive, and they want to eradicate them. And a lot of other people, they're just happy to eat the berries. And the funny part is, in this case, it all started with one dude, one package of seeds, and planting them in Oregon, and now we have them everywhere. So really, the best thing is to accept the responsibility of being stewards of nature. And whether that means protecting the integrity of the more vulnerable endemic species to a particular region, or pruning and harvesting and caretaking an invasive species that you can't stop anymore. It comes down to, okay, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And in that case, you end up with this incredible wild harvest.
If you'd like to continue the Wild Harvest with me and Chef Paul Rogalski, then please check out our website at wildharvestfilms.com, where we have recipes and foraging tips along with deleted scenes and outtakes from the making of Les Stroud's Wild Harvest.
Directly inspired by the series, Chef Paul and expert forager Les Stroud bring you the Wild Harvest recipe book. Highlighting all of Paul's dishes and complete with behind-the-scenes stories, it is available for $29.99. In addition, a DVD of this season is also available for $19.99. To order, please go to wildharvestfilms.com, Wild Harvest TV show on Facebook, or Les Stroud's Wild Harvest on YouTube.